Hello there, and a very warm welcome to the France Buying Guides YouTube presentation. Well, Easter has passed, and this is a traditional time of the year when people start to think about possibly moving, or in our case, buying a property in France, perhaps in your case too. So it's a few points to think about this week if you're planning on a viewing trip. Now, although France is rightly described as quite a bureaucratic country, they invented the word, let's face it, the buying process is actually pretty straightforward and certainly safe. I've always found that shared experiences count for a great deal. So here are my tips on how to make a good viewing trip work and how to go about searching for your own property. Now, a little homework at the start will stand you in very good stead. It will save you time and give you the confidence to really think about what you want to achieve. Read as much as you can about every area of France. It's a huge country after all. Every area has its own characteristics, and you need to be sure about these before you commit yourself to a purchase. Now, you could do worse than buying a copy of my France buying guide. You'll find all sorts of information in there. It covers all aspects of buying in France with an overview of each area. Remember that house hunting can be quite hard work, although it's enjoyable as well. When I was looking for my first house, I made at least 3 trips, longish trips to France to look for what I wanted, and it wasn't till the last trip that I actually found the property I have been looking for. So don't set your heart on just the one property you might have found on the internet. You need to go there and compare others as well. Um, Give yourself enough time also. I remember when I booked my first trip, it was about 5 days, and it really didn't seem long enough. A lot of places are a fair distance from each other. You'll find you spend a whole day perhaps just seeing 2 or 3 properties. You need some time off in the middle as well to sort of take stock and have a look at your photographs and your notes on each property. So give yourself time and don't expect necessarily to fall in love with the first property you see. You'll find your property in the end, and you're far likelier to do so if you give yourself time for a bit of R&R in between. Glean as much local knowledge as you can. When I bought my first house, the agent spent a day with me just looking around the area, introduced me to some people. I actually met a lovely elderly couple in a nearby village who became firm friends, and we are still friends now to this day. So have a look at the area, talk to people, have a look at what amenities there are. Following on from that, if your French isn't really up to scratch, try and improve on it. Have a few lessons before you go. We have lots of tips on how to better your French, or indeed to learn it in the first place in our guide, or you can write to me and I'll give you my tips. My French is pretty good. My husband, Mr. Fixit, is improving rapidly. He understands nearly everything that's said to him these days, and his knowledge of plumbing terms in French is ace. Next, do think about employing the services of a bilingual solicitor. It's very important to get the first contract correct, the compromis de vente, because in this contract you can put any clauses you wish, which might be what's called suspended clauses in English, which means that, for example, if you want to have a mortgage and it doesn't go through, you can put that in there so you're safeguarded. If it doesn't go through, you're not permitted to buy. Once the first contract is signed by both parties, it is binding on you. So it's really important to have a bilingual solicitor oversee that for you. You need to make sure you have peace of mind that everything's going to go through correctly. Now, I've said this before, but it does merit saying again. Make friends with your Mary. Go and introduce yourself. The local mayor in France has a lot of power. I invited the mayor for a drink when we first got here, and it was great. We got to discover a little bit about the village. They're always very interested in what you're doing. Don't think they're going to not like you because you're English. They won't not like you because you're English. It's a good idea to sort of keep on their side and keep the relationship going. Try to use, following on from that, try to use local shops also, as well as big supermarkets. Not only will you be obviously supporting your new community, but you'll probably make friends and acquaintances. You'll probably have noticed that when you go into a shop in France, everyone says bonjour to you, even the other customers, and everyone says goodbye. It's really quite sweet. But it's a good idea because in a rural situation in France, it's quite a nice sort of introduction for you to get to know people, and you can do that by shopping locally. Following on from this again, do be willing to integrate into the French way of life. Things are done a little bit differently here. Some things are done quite a lot differently. But the expression joie de vivre, after all, is well known and is a French term. And you'll find that in bucket loads if you really settle in and make friends with people as much as you possibly can. And finally, remember to enjoy it all. There will be days when you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, or there might be days or at the end of a trip, say, that you haven't actually found the property you want and you'll think you're not going to. But be patient. Remember to be remember what you came here for. Think of enjoying that glass of Bordeaux on your terrace or in your little garden once you've got your property. And remember that France is a wonderful country and offers a fantastic life. So that's it from me for this week. I hope this finds you well. I will speak to you again soon. Bye bye.